All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Friday morning. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Man, what can we say about this, guys? What can we say about this? Bitcoin has taken a massive dump. That's all we can say. All right? This is, I don't know what to say. All right? I don't know what to say. This is scary stuff, man. This is scary, scary business. All right, so we're going to be breaking down the charts. Make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell as usual. If we can get 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT. All right, 1,000 USDT. Now, we are seeing some bullish divergences at this low here. 114, we actually did come down to fill that CME gap that we've had at 114. This is really a make it or break it zone here for Bitcoin as we are attempting to reclaim this level right here. All right, as we are attempting to reclaim this level right here. So, this really is a make it or break it zone, guys, because if we don't hold above this level, if we don't close a daily candle above this level today, we're probably going to come back down and test the 109 to 112 zone. So let's go to a higher term time frame here. Let's break it down. You know, to be honest, if this candle does close blue today, it will look decent. However, you know, that daily green dot is what we were really hoping for, and obviously we have not seen this at all. All right. Let's give a big shout to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Keep On Grinding. Things are shaky. Shout out to GVOS. How does he focus on the charts and the treadmill? I don't know. I mean, not only that, but I've got 40 pounds of weight in this vest here, guys. All right. So it is what it is. Shout out to Randy Gray. He says this was a healthy move. Bilbo, he says he's just trying to sell you on the dump before the pre-weekend pump. Yeah, Bilbo knows all about my ways. I'm here to deceive everybody. All right? I'm here just to tell you the opposite of what I think, you know? Shout out to Bilbo Baggins in the chat. Shout out to Duncan Blockchain. Just say something bullish. Don't want to hear anything else. Shout out to Mark K. Shout out to Raj. Shout out to Jake's Games. Bounce or bust. Yeah, bounce or bust. Weekly Bear Div's going to follow through this time, ask Memory Man. So here's the deal. Here's my honest thought. And my honest thought is the same as it's been since we made this new all-time high. All right? My honest thoughts are these. I'm still going to be bullish here. I'm still going to be bullish. Oh my goodness, we have a weekly red dot printing. Oh my goodness, Memory Man, I didn't realize it was printing. I'm still going to have to remain bullish here. All right? And here's why. This, objectively speaking, is a very bullish uptrend. We have confirmed the monthly candle close above the previous range high. All right? We have confirmed the monthly close above the previous range high. That is, objectively speaking, a bullish breakout. We are in bullish market structure. And as long as we are not going to lose, I'm talking high time frame stuff here, as long as we don't lose this box of support, we are, objectively speaking, in a very bullish Bitcoin environment. All right. Also, this move down, guys, it's been slow. All right. It's been a whole month of slow and grindy. And the last thing that keeps me bullish is the fact that we are in the month of August. All right. We are in the month of August. What does that mean? It means, historically speaking, throughout this uptrend, the summers tend to be slow. Now, so far, this summer was more bullish than the past summers. But this was our low in 2024. It happened on August 5th, I remember, like it was yesterday. This was our low in 2023 in August. And so if the pattern continues, we are headed into a bullish fall. Confluence with, well, we were going to say Fed cutting rates, but it looks like they're not being so clear about that. But look, August is here. Happy August. We've just closed the bullish July candle. And so we need to be watching for this box, because this really could be the last big opportunity to get into a juicy swing trade for Bitcoin, right? Last big opportunity to get into a juicy swing trade for Bitcoin. If we lose this box, then I will be bearish, all right? Then I will be bearish, okay? A few other things to keep in mind here, guys. You know, this whole range, this entire range here that we've been trading for the past month, this is very, very low volatility. So as traders, we get stuck on these low time frames and we feel like, oh my goodness, we're dumping like crazy. Or, you know, the opposite, when we're long, we feel like, oh man, look at the pump. But the reality is, guys, we are ranging in a very small area. And this is actually a healthy sign. In my opinion, a range like this is kind of healthy. Because we're not seeing very, very, very bearish things here. We're just seeing price consolidate after a breakout. That's a healthy thing, to see price consolidate after a breakout. Another thing we're seeing right now is support being tapped. All right, we go to the daily. All right, now we didn't actually close the gap with the candle body. Be aware of that for a trade maybe today. When we take a look at the wick, this is the CME gap with the wick. I would consider that filled if we're talking about the wick. We front ran it by a few bucks. So look, we're holding supports here, and these are supports that we've been looking for a while, right? So this should not really be a huge surprise for anybody. And when we just zoom out, we could say, okay, this is still a bullish chart. All right, no need to get bearish yet. No need to get bearish yet. Now, there are some warning signs flashing here. We've got the weekly bearish divergence that will confirm in 2 days and 12 hours, okay? If we don't, this is key right now, be watching, because if we don't get a move back up here, if we don't get a real bounce today, that weekly bearish divergence will confirm. Now remember, we had a weekly bearish divergence confirmed here as well. That gave us our last little pullback before the big pump. And so, again, this bearish divergence, I feel, is definitely not going to be a top signal, even if it confirms, and I'll tell you why. The top signal is going to be more like this. All right, I have a feeling we're going to play a game of red dot, green dot, and we're going to see the money flow now continuing to get lower locally. And that's going to be our top signal. And that's going to happen around the fall. This is still how I'm treating Bitcoin. This is still how I'm trading Bitcoin. And I will hold to my bullish bias until we are confirming candles below this box. In which case, we need to acknowledge the fact that the uptrend is broken. And this is the first failed auction that we've seen in the bull run. Right? Because if you come up and you break out and you hold above for a month and a half or whatever, and then you come back in, that's called a failed auction. All right? And then probabilities are likely we come back to the bottom of the range. But until that happens, I have to maintain more of a bullish bias here. All right? And I'm not just doing this for YouTube sensational. It's funny. It's so funny. You come out bullish, people say, Jay, you're just trying to trick people into being bullish to be your exit liquidity. And then I come in here and I'm a little bit bearish and people are like, Jay, you're just trying to sell us on the dump before the weekend pump. Come on, guys. Us YouTubers are just normal people like you. All right? We're literally just normal people like you trying to trade these markets just like you. All right? We don't have any secret info. There's no secret Illuminati club for traders out here. You know? What's that? Hang on. Oh. Hang on, guys. My handlers are telling me. Oh. Oh, they are exit liquidity, huh? Oh. Oh, I'm supposed to sell them on the dump so that they're not ready for the weekend pump? Oh. Oh. If I don't change my tune, you're going to have to send me into an institution to reinstall my MK Ultra? And I'm going to come out with blonde hair and a totally different person for a while? Oh, no. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, guys. As I was saying, look, we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce from this low. We do have some bullish divs on the 1 hour. Let's check out the 2 hour. You know, I'm struggling here to find bullish stuff, but let's just be objective here and say, if we can close the week without the red dot confirmed, and if we can close the week back inside the value area low above 117, that's going to look pretty nice. If we can't do that, then we need to expect to move back down to our box at between 109 and 112. All right. Man, we got to give a major shout out to Alex O. He says, God bless Jay. Man, God bless Alex O. All right. Guys, make sure to go subscribe to Alex O. All right. Shout out to Bob Riley. Shout out to Epic Dogs. Shout out to Iman. Shout out to Yowzer Dankosaurus. He got tricked by Jay. Look, guys, I was bullish yesterday and I was wrong. All right, I'll be honest. I was wrong yesterday. I really thought we were gonna pump. All right. Divine Hood says triple drive a weekly bear div with money flow divs. This is very topish. Maybe one more high. Yes, I agree, Divine Hood. I'm looking for one more high here. I'm looking for one more high here on the Bitcoin price. I'm looking for one more high. And the reason I'm looking for one more high, guys, and now I'm going to be dreadfully honest with you guys, all right? Here we go. The dreadful honesty. The reason why I'm looking for one more high on Bitcoin is because I know that we need it in order to have altcoin season, all right? I know that if we come back down in here, and that's it, altcoin season is not going to happen. This was our altcoin season. That just happened. All right. That means this is ETH's altcoin season. All right. So I'll be honest and say one of the main reasons why I'm looking for another high is because I believe in my soul that we are going to see an alt season this cycle. And so in order for that to happen, Bitcoin cannot come back down below this box. All right. And if I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong. And it'll sting a lot, because I'll be honest with you guys, I have a lot of money in altcoins, and I'm looking to make a lot of money in altcoins within the next few months. And if I don't make that money, well, at least I stuck to my convictions, and at least I stuck to my plan. That's all I can say. If I don't make that money, at least I can say I stuck to my conviction and I stuck to the plan. All right, something I've been doing for the past 3 market cycles. And so far, it's worked for me every time. So if this is the first time it doesn't work, I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. All right? I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. This cycle, famous last words. I know, right? I know. Well, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Look, I have to stick to my convictions here. I have to stick to my plans. I gotta. Because if I don't, and I like sell everything right now, then if we do pump, it'll be really difficult for me to forgive myself for not sticking to the plan. But if I hold and we dump, I know this sounds crazy, it'll be easier for me to forgive myself for sticking to the plan and having it not work out than not sticking to the plan and having it not work out, if you get what I'm saying, right? That's just my own personal thing. Like, if I stick to the plan and it doesn't work out, okay, at least I stuck to my plan. If I don't stick to the plan and it doesn't work out, then it's my fault for not sticking to the plan. You know? That's how it is with trading as well, right? You're in a trade, you close early because you're thinking, it's probably not going to work out. You go to bed, you wake up the next morning. If you had just stayed in the trade, you would have been up tons. But because you didn't stick to the plan, you lost out. But if you stick to the plan and you take a stop loss, oh well. You know? Oh well. On to the next. Now, speaking of that, we got to give a major shout to the sponsors of the channel. First of all, guys, we got to give a major shout out to WEEX. All right, WEEX. They're having a pretty crazy promotion right now, but we got to give a really major shout out to BLOFIN. All right, BLOFIN. Whoa. This is not my trading This is my my money in my account. Let's see. Let's go to futures. Here we go. Trading on BLOFIN. This is a trade that got stopped out. This trade got stopped out, man. I was in this trade, stop under the low, stopped out. But BLOFIN is having a promotion where they're giving away $500. They're giving away $500. All you have to do to be eligible to win $100, 5 winners, is sign up to BLOFIN using my link. You don't have to deposit anything. You can get $100. There's going to be 5 winners. We're going to be doing that next week. So if you want an opportunity to win $100, check out BLOFIN using the Jason Casper link, and then you'll be automatically eligible next week during these live streams to win $100. All right, we also got to shout out Antarctic Exchange. Decentralized exchange is going to totally change everything. It's going to be totally awesome. All right, don't miss out. Trust me, you want to be involved. Also, guys, if you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord where we give the live trading setups every single day, multiple times a day, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. And if you want to learn how to trade, well, you could watch CryptoFace. But also, you could check out Jason Casper's YouTube channel. He has a free trading course on there. Jason Casper made this course for free, 18 parts. Make sure to go check it out. And as you can see, I'm still struggling in this long trade here, guys. Over on WEEX from $105,000 from the setup given in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. This is the last long trade I have open. The other ones have been stopped out. So let's see, man. Let's see if we can hold. Let's see if we can hold. All right. Jeremy Cup says leverage trading this environment is not a good idea. Well, Jeremy Cup, I have to disagree with you, man. I have to disagree with you. How is leverage trading a bad idea in this environment? I mean, in this environment, let's be honest here, all right? In this environment, Jeremy Cup, tell me a trade you would take where you'd need more than like a 1% stop loss. All right, honestly. Like, even if you were trying to, let's say oh, we're bouncing from the VWAP, forming a bull flag. Let me take a long here, all right? And I'm going to shoot back for the top of the range. I'm going to shoot for the POC, a 3-to-1 risk reward, or shoot for the trend line, a 4-to-1 risk reward, all right? In this market environment, bud, you could literally be using, 25x. You could be using 50x. You could be using 50, you could be using 70x leverage. You could be using 80x leverage on this trade setup and not be risking liquidation. I don't understand that. What with the leverage stuff, all right? People don't understand what leverage is. All right, go check out the free trading course. We have a whole session on leverage. All right, leverage, here's what leverage is. If you have a trading idea, all right, your trading idea needs to include a stop loss. As long as your liquidation price is somewhere below that stop loss, the leverage doesn't matter. If my liquidation is here and my stop loss is here, I can use whatever leverage I want. As long as that liquidation doesn't come above the stop loss, you use whatever leverage you want. In fact, I say high leverage is better for choppy markets like this. But that's just me. Now again, if you don't know how to use leverage, go check out the free trading course, because here's what happens. A lot of people get their education about leverage from like random YouTubers that don't trade with leverage. And so they give you this like random, they don't even know what leverage is themselves. So they go to Google and they're like, what is leverage in trading? Right? And they read here what it says. Let's see what it says. They read this thing that says, leverage can be a powerful tool for trading. Like literally, this is word for word what most YouTubers who promote exchanges will tell you, right? Leverage can really magnify your reward, but it's important to understand the risks. They say they can multiply your gains and multiply your losses. That's not true if you do it right. All right? It multiplies potential profit and loss. It can if you use it the wrong way. So most people that teach you about leverage on the internet, they don't actually use leverage. They're just reading this stuff to you, all right? Look, The one thing that matters about leverage is this. Is your stop loss before your liquidation price? If the answer is yes, your leverage is fine. Even if it's 80x. If your stop loss is below your liquidation, your leverage is too high. Lower it down. All right, lower it down. You know, look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Let's just do a little thought experiment here. All right. Let's say I want to take a long trade right now. You know, I want to mark it in. This is going to be my trade. All right. We're going to long this. We're going to put our stop loss below the low. We're going to shoot for the high. All right. Let's say we put $1,000 on the trade. All right. Our stop loss is going to be 113,846. All right. 113,846. We're going to use leverage of 1x. All right. We're going to open up that trade. We're risking $15 on the trade if we get stopped out. $15 on the trade if we get stopped out. Okay. Now look at this. Let's crank up the leverage to 30x. What do you know? $1,000. Same stop loss. What do you know? We're risking $15. All right. That can't be true. How about this? How about this? 75x. Oh wow, 75x. Same entry, same amount on the trade, same stop loss. We risk $15. Wow. That's crazy. How is this possible? It's because, guys, the leverage doesn't matter as long as your liquidation comes after your stop loss. All right. Now, in this instance, we could not use 75x because the stop loss is too deep. We couldn't use more than 50x on this trade without risking liquidation. But as long as you're putting that $1,000 on the trade, it's not multiplying your reward or your risk. Here's what it's doing. It's multiplying the percent you make on your margin. Right? You look at this trade I have open here. I don't even know how much margin is on this trade. But it's 134%. All right? Am I really up 134%? No, I'm not. I'm not really up 134%. On my position size, I'm up 133% on my margin. There's a difference. A difference. A differenzate. Sia, signor. Now we are talking Italian again. We are talking Italian again. Thor says, I love you, embrace your friendly ghost with the transparency. Oh, man. Yeah, position size is position size. Jeremy Cup says, I know you haven't taken any trades the past month, so how is that good for the average trader? Well, I think honestly, the average trader, as they trade more and more, will learn that unless they're in the mindset of scalping every single day for a few hours a day, the trades don't really come very often, maybe a few times a month, and those few trades a month are going to make you your money, right? I mean, I have taken a trade from here, a trade from here. I took a trade from right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I took 4 longs since July. All right. I've taken 4 longs and 1 short. I've taken 5 trades. All right. 5 trades since like June 23rd. So it's been over a month. 5 trades in over a month. Not including the scalps I've been doing on KSEX. I'm up 5 figures. Okay? Now, you might say, Jay, I don't have enough capital to be up 5 figures. Okay. If you stick to the trade less model, you are going to grow your account, in my opinion, especially as a beginner, faster than a scalper. All right? Do you know how much margin for error there is if you're scalping and you're trying to go in with big position sizes multiple times a day? Do you know how much margin for error? Very little. You make a little mistake, you're chopped up, man. When it comes to the more relaxed trading, guess what? Bigger margin for error. You don't have to be as precise in your entries. You're using smaller position sizes, but you're going for the bigger moves. All right? Your losses are fewer because you're not trying to trade every stupid candle, but you're waiting for those key levels, right? You're waiting for those key levels. And so what's going to happen is you're going to have a higher win rate, and your wins are going to make you more money. And then that will compound in your account, man. And then the next thing you know, you'll be trading with more capital. It takes time. Look, the money-making aspect of trading is actually the result of sticking to the process over time. People want to come in and be a scalper and make quick money. Most new traders, including myself, we all want to be scalpers because we're like, man, how great would it be to come for 2 hours a day, take 2 or 3 trades, call it a day, make my $600-700, you know, and do it again tomorrow. Let me tell you, it sounds great. And people can do it. I've done it. But it is very mentally tiring to do that day after day. And not only that, but again, if you're newer, that is a one-way ticket to chopped up city. So I think the average trader should focus on trading less, should focus on quality over quantity. And only more experienced traders should be in that scalping mindset. And, you know, I can only speak from my own experience, but I'll say this. You know, when I scalp, I have to be in the zone like crazy, all right? And it takes a lot out of you. It's a lot of mental bandwidth to be able to make those decisions quickly. You know, so I think for most traders, doing it the relaxed way is the way to go. You will build your skill doing it the relaxed way. Remember, this is a long marathon. It ain't no sprint. Scalping is tough, says Preparing for War. I1 Clip says something that I'm not going to read out loud, but it's very random. Shout out to Marley Man. That's me. Stablecoins will soon depeg. One of these banks will have to sell off their tether, like what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. I don't know if that's true, actually. I think this whole new thing, this whole, what's the bill that Trump passed or whatever? I don't know. I think that's actually going to integrate stablecoins into the financial system. So, I don't think stablecoins will depeg. I think stablecoins are the plan. You know, here's the thing. All right? Get on your tinfoil hats, y'all. It's very obvious that the people who really pull the strings in the government and all that, it's very obvious that they have made the World Economic Forum and their agendas and the whole CBDC thing, they've pushed that out in front of the public eye on purpose so that the public can look at that agenda and say, we don't want that. All right? Now you got people in office who are saying, look, we don't want that CBDC. We're just going to work with the crypto we already have. And people are like, yes, let's celebrate. But here's the problem. The crypto we already have is going to be monitored and controlled just like the CBDCs were going to be. All right? So the fact that now Tether and USDC, these things are going to be more legitimized and regulated by the government, means that they want them here, and it's actually part of the plan to get everybody eventually onto, you know, blockchain currency, and it's going to be a hop, skip, and a jump to a complete surveillance state. All right, look at all this KYC nonsense. You can't even use Bitcoin anymore without everyone knowing your dang business. All right, so I don't think the stable coins are going to depeg. All right. Also, here's something else you got to think. The only thing that the Federal Reserve can do now in order to keep the current economic system afloat is turn on the printing press. They're a one-trick pony. And if they're printing more money, that's got to go somewhere. It's probably going to go into stable coins. All right? Look, like I said, that's just my theory, okay? Yeah, Sunshine Girl says they've got that CBDC. Stablecoins are shadow CBDCs. Yes, exactly, Sunshine Girl. They're shadow CBDCs. All the crypto people are celebrating. But yeah, they're shadow CBDCs. I mean, look, it's just the reality of where we're headed. Complete surveillance state. But they're going to give it to you in a way that you want. That's the thing. They push the narrative out in front of you that you don't want. They give you Klaus Schwab looking like a dang James Bond villain saying, yeah, you will eat the bugs and you will own nothing and we will have CBDCs on universal basic income. And we're like, oh, I don't want that. And so then some legislation comes around that says, no CBDCs. We're going to use stable coins instead. Everyone cheers. Look, it's the same dang thing, guys. All right. Shout out to Max Cherry, who says, praise the Lord, soon will be the day of the Lord, the seventh day of creation, and the King will return to throw the devil, fallen angels, Antichrist, and his kingdom into hell. Refuse the mark of the beast. Amen. I can only amen that. Hope y'all don't want the mark. I don't want the mark either. So we got to see Bitcoin reclaim right now 116,888 value area low of the range if we want to bounce. We're still in this channel here. Let's go ahead actually and pull this a little bit more accurately. Man, I'll tell you guys, I really thought yesterday that we were going to bounce from POC and breakout, man. But this is still a channel. Let's actually pull a channel on this. Yeah, we're still in a channel. You can see if we reclaim the midline of the channel here, it's going to be a nice look. All right, and we did fill that CME gap, at least the wick of it. So we definitely have some legitimate reason right now to expect a bounce from here. Pull some fibs. Let's pull some fibs. Golden Child says, you Christians sound crazy to the average person. Yeah, I know. It's so funny. Yeah. Look, the message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing. But absolutely, I mean, think about it. Think about it. I mean, I believe, and remember, this ain't no financial advice, but I fully believe with all my heart that someday a fiery God man is going to rip open the sky and come down and judge his enemies and save his people. All right, I believe that God himself entered into creation, being born through a virgin woman, lived a sinless life, died for the sins of humanity, rose again on the third day, and ascended up to heaven and is seated at the right hand of the Father. And I believe that if you repent of your sins and put your faith and trust in him, he will fill you with his Holy Spirit and cause you to be born again as a new creation so you can be reunited with the fellowship, relationship, and intimacy that man was created to have with God. Yeah, I believe all that. It sounds absolutely crazy from a worldly perspective. I understand this. You know? I understand this completely. You know? Yeah. Someone says we're gonna go straight into a deflationary cliff. Less for everyone. Everyone loses in this environment. A deflationary environment? I always thought we'd head into a hyperinflationary environment. You know? Why would BlackRock and MicroStrategy buy around these levels if it weren't a good investment? I think Bitcoin's a great investment. I never said Bitcoin's not a good investment. Look, if you're MicroStrategy, if you're BlackRock, and you have unlimited capital, literally unlimited capital, then yeah, it doesn't matter when you buy. If you're the average Joe, or if you're a leverage trader, it's a very different thing, right? If you're Michael Saylor and you have unlimited money just to throw billions into Bitcoin whenever you want, and being down 50% doesn't faze you at all, and you're just going to buy more because you have money, great. It is a good investment. Bitcoin is going to pump. All right, in the next few years, Bitcoin is going to pump. It's not going to go straight up, though. All right, so for your average Joseph out there, you know, you got to be more strategic with when you buy. You know, you want to buy at the best prices. Now, you got to have your own strategy for that. There are some people out there, and I used to do this back in when I first got into Bitcoin, which was every month I would buy a little bit of Bitcoin. You know, every year I'd buy a little bit, every month I'd buy a little bit of Bitcoin. No matter what the price was, because I was bullish on it. As I got more mature in my trading and investing, I waited until we got to key supports to really buy Bitcoin. All right, it depends on how involved you want to be with the analysis and the chart. The more hands-off is just buy a little bit, as much as you can, because we know in the next few years it's going to continue to pump. Great. But the deeper you go down the investing and trading rabbit hole, the more you realize, the more precise I am, the more money I can make. And if you're there to put the energy and the time into learning the charts, learning the cycles, learning about support and resistance, you can milk a lot more out of the market than the guy who doesn't pay any attention and just slowly stacks. So yeah, Bitcoin's a great investment. I think Bitcoin's going to pump. I don't think it's crazy to see a $1 million Bitcoin. I don't think that's crazy at all. I mean, within my Bitcoin lifetime, I've been in since 2016. My first Bitcoin purchase ever was around the summer of 2016. Bitcoin was about it was under 1,000. All right, it was under 1,000. So right around the summer, right around here, June, July, August, this is where I got my Bitcoin. All right, I've seen it do a 100x, man. All right, for all intents and purposes, let's say I got in at 1,000. All right, I've seen it go to 100K. Isn't that crazy? I've seen 10,000% gains. 10,000% gains. It's not so crazy to think that from 100,000, we could go to 1,000,000. That's not even 1,000% gains. This is a tenth of what Bitcoin already did in the last few years. That actually makes a lot of sense. Right? We expect slower percent rises. It's not so crazy to think Bitcoin's going to be chilling at about 1,000,000. It's not so crazy. You know? That's really not so crazy. Right? Bitcoin's a great investment. But again, it depends on how involved you want to be and how exposed you want to be and what kind of trader are you, what kind of investor are you, and all this kind of stuff, you know? Shout out to Mark. Are you concerned with the quantum threat to Bitcoin? Yeah, I am a little bit, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Quantum computing and all this stuff to crack the SHA-256 algorithm. You know, I'm too stupid to really understand that stuff. So, wouldn't surprise me if someday that happens and all us Bitcoiners are just screwed, right? Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm too stupid to really understand it, right? Do I own gold? I'm a huge proponent of gold. I was into gold before I was into Bitcoin. You know? Look at the lost books of the Bible. There are no lost books of the Bible, Marley. Man, that's me. No offense, bro. There's no such thing as a lost book of the Bible. That's silly. You can always tell somebody doesn't know what they're talking about when they start talking about lost books of the Bible. No offense, bro. Okay, so someone says it's not a threat. Quantum computing is not a threat. Okay. Well, I hope it's not. I hope it's not a threat. What's my view on people who say XRP could reach 1,000? So here's my view on XRP. All right. I personally am of the view here's the thing. The crypto space has changed a lot in the past few market cycles, right? In 2016, 2017, you start searching crypto, you're going to find a whole bunch of anarchists who hate the government, who hate the central banks, who say, screw the Federal Reserve, screw your fiat currency. We're going to use Bitcoin, and we're going to totally negate the necessity for you to be a thing, all right? Then you have Ripple come along, and they're like, we're a crypto too, but we like the banks, and we're going to work with the banks. So the OG crypto people, OG Bitcoiners, Litecoiners, Dash, you know, Monero, when we hear the word XRP, we go, bleh! Traitors, treason, you guys are the most Romans 127 group I've ever heard of. Ripple. All right? Can't believe you would even do such a thing. So when I hear XRP, I carry all this baggage with me. Okay? I carry all this baggage along with me of thinking, XRP, that's not crypto. Now, here's the thing. We understand completely that traditional finance and blockchain DeFi are going to have to merge at some point. How is that going to look? We can't know for certain. Okay, we cannot know for certain. Could it be that XRP is the thing that the banks use and it's the official, like, transaction network for everything? Maybe, I don't know. I'm too stupid to know, but it is possible. And if that happens, could XRP go to 1,000? It's conceivable. Do I think that's going to happen? I'll be honest with you, no. I don't. I don't think XRP is going to be able to get that kind of a move to the upside. But it could happen. I know people are they love XRP. That's why they call it the XRP army. You know, crypto is so funny to see how the crypto space has changed. Back in the day when it was like everybody against the central banks. Now people are like divided into their camps. It's like sports ball team. I'm in the XRP army. No, I'm a Solana soldier, baby. No, I'm an ETH explorer. And you're a Bitcoin maxi. We hate each other. You guys are so dumb. It's the same as sports ball now. Isn't that weird how that happened? Yeah, it's conceivable. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen, though. I'll be honest with you. Okay? Did I long 108? I am technically long from around 108, yes. What is this? I guess this is, I opened up this long at around 105. But I think I've added to it since then a little bit. So it probably is around 108. I do think we can come back here. And if we do come back to 108, I think my plan is going to be to add to that, alright? Yeah, Marley the Man, he says, XRP founders are the first people to patent blockchain technology. Yeah, XRP is the enemy of crypto and anti-decentralized. That's what I'm saying. Do I think the Bitcoin cycle is following previous cycles? So, I want to believe that the answer is yes. Alright. I want to believe that the answer is yes. The reason why I want to believe this is because, that's what I want. I want the same thing to repeat, but we did have one big difference this time, which was an all-time high before the halving. Alright? There are many lost books of the Bible, like the Book of Enoch. But wait a second. If the Book of Enoch is available to read, and it's in the Ethiopian Bible, and we've had it available to read for over 2,000 years, that means it's not lost. That means we have it, right? So it's not lost. That's why when people talk about these lost books of the Bible, like, do you understand anything about how we got the Bible, how it was compiled, the various books, why they are or are not included in different versions? I mean, this is not secret stuff. This is just normal church history that anyone can research. And these books were never hidden or lost. They've always been there. Book of Enoch's always been there. You know? Book of Maccabees always been there. The Apocrypha have always been there. They've never been... No one tried to hide them from you. You know? Do I believe 112 could come? Yes! I do. So here's the thing, right? Let's take a look at the thing. Let's take a look at the chart. This is a breakout, okay? This is a breakout of the range. Which means if we're going to get a back test, we're going to back test around 109 to 112 and get a bounce, right? Very similar to the back test of this, right? We broke the range, we got the back test. Very similar to the back test of this, right? We broke out of the range, we got a back test. The big difference that would be this time is, number one, we've had a much less pump before the back test. And number two, we have much less space to go before the back test. And so honestly, this back test here of 108 to 112 could really be a beautiful breakout and back test and pump. Something that we didn't get here. Something that we didn't get here. Something that we did not get here. Not even close. Broke out, no back test at all, not even close. All right. We did get one here. The breakout, the double back test before the pump. All right. But yeah, so absolutely, that is going to be a very key level, and we should be prepared for the price to come to that level. Is the dump only for tariff fear? I don't know. I don't know. Trade the range till we lose the range, says John Ploney. Look, Enoch says he's from the Ethiopian Orthodox and the Book of Enoch is still available. Yeah, it's been available. It's been available. Any so-called lost book of the Bible, there's two camps, all right? There's the books that have always been there that are legitimate, like Enoch, like the Apocrypha. And then there's forgeries that were written in the Middle Ages, like the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Judas, and these other like Gospels that don't show up until like the 1500s. Those were never part of the Bible, or even close, you know? So the only hidden books of the Bible are the ones that have never been hidden. They've always been there. They just don't put them in all printed Bibles, mostly to save space, to be honest, because they were always considered deuterocanonical. And then there's the forgeries that came much, much later and were never, ever considered authoritative or important to read at all, right? Those are the two camps. Tariffs go into effect today. Let's see. Shabbat Shalom, Achi, says some random person. Well, Shabbat Shalom to you. Shout out to my man Warren G in the house. What is going on, Warren G? We need to see the... I don't want to see the weekly candle close with a red dot. I really don't want to see that. Shout out to Ashley Gates. Every person buys XRP as their first coin. It seems that way. I have a friend who I gave him Bitcoin. I gave him 0.05 Bitcoin. I gave him 20%, not 20%, 5% of a Bitcoin. All right, 5% of a Bitcoin. And do you know what he did? If you're listening, bro, I'm sorry for exposing your mistake. He talked to his friend. And his friend said, you know, XRP is the way to go. He sold his Bitcoin for XRP when Bitcoin was like 100K. Oh my goodness. Shout out to R Pink with the Greek coming on in. Now look, if I read this Greek, anyone who knows Greek would laugh at my pronunciation. So I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but I am going to read it. It says, "For thus, this is how God loved the world, insomuch that his one and only Son he gave, in order that all who believe in him will not perish, but they will have life eternal." That's John 3:16. Shout out to our Pink coming in with the Greek scriptures. All right. Yeah, he converted it to XRP, bro. And you know, I felt so bad for him. I gave him the 0.05 Bitcoin again. And I said, look, bro, we'll pretend this never happened, all right? I gave him back the 0.05 BTC. I said, look, man. Because look, if you're my friend in real life, I always try and get you into crypto. I force you in. I said, hey, man, you know anything about Bitcoin? They're like, you know, someone told me about it back in 2017. I should have bought it, but I didn't. You know, the story of everybody. You're like, look, bro, just get a Coinbase account. I'll send you your first crypto. You'll see how cool it is, right? So if you're my friend in real life, I like to just give you crypto. People don't even understand what I just did. You know, I'll give them 0.05 Bitcoin. Oh, I see, it's a 0.05 Bitcoin's yeah, now don't sell it. All right? Dude converts it to XRP the next day, bro. What the heck? Shout out to Alex O. Shout out to Alex O. So Koi 23 is Greek too. Yeah, so if I tried to pronounce the Greek, all right, I would sound like an idiot because I don't know how to pronounce Greek, but I do know how to read a little biblical Greek. I can translate it more than I can pronounce it. If I did pronounce it, I sound like an idiot, okay? Do I need a new gym? Nah, I got my gym. I got my gym in the basement, baby. Shout out to I Show You. What's going on, I Show You? God bless you, bro. Shout out to Alex O. Guys, make sure to go subscribe to Alex O. XRP outperformed Bitcoin. Yeah, I know. See, and this is exactly why he converted his Bitcoin to XRP. To try and make that quick money. But here's the thing. Honestly. And this is just my own view, but I would rather be in Bitcoin in an asset that is unlike anything else than try and outperform Bitcoin by going into and holding altcoins like that. All right. If your crypto coin can be affected by government decisions, in my mind, that is not crypto at all. That goes against everything that crypto is meant for. If you're not a crypto guy and you're just a make money guy, okay, I could see that. But what if XRP becomes obsolete within the next few years? I mean, there's only one Bitcoin. People are already viewing Bitcoin as that big store of value. All right? Governments are stacking Bitcoin. People are stacking Bitcoin. Institutions are stacking Bitcoin because they know there's only one Bitcoin. So, you know. TradingView keeps running like crap, says, preparing for war. Let's check out the DXY. Wow. The dollar. Wow, look at that dump. Let's check out the stock market. Everything's dumping, guys. Bitcoin's dumping. The stock market's dumping. The dollar's dumping. So, I guess, are the tariffs going into effect today? Is that what people are saying here? The tariffs going into effect? Come on, Bitcoin. Look, she's trying to break out this trend line right now. She's trying to break out this trend line. What am I using to study Greek? I'll tell you what I use to study Greek, okay? I'll tell you what I use. I'll show you guys. All right, this is a cheat code. You want to learn biblical Greek? Check it out. Check it out. All right, check it out. Over here, we've got ourselves these lectures, a full playlist, Basics of Biblical Greek by Mark Schuler. All right, this goes along with a textbook you can get very, very cheap. Mounce's Greek. And he basically, all the lectures are for free here on the internet. All right? You get a free, just like Jason Casper gives you a free trading course, Mark Schuler's going to give you a free Greek course. All right? And you can get the book real cheap and easy, the workbook and the textbook, real cheap. Even you can get it used on Amazon. Then you could just learn. All right? You just learn the biblical Greek. That's all you got to do. You know? That's all you got to do. What happens when the cost of mining outweighs the returns and nobody supports Bitcoin anymore? That's a good question. I haven't really thought that one through, JTube. Maybe I'll think it through and tomorrow I'll be extremely bearish on Bitcoin. You know? Can we look at Cardano? Yeah, we could look at Cardano. Yeesh! Ah! Look, I still think Cardano is looking good for a bounce from our back test here. Money flow crossing, that next trigger wave we print on the daily is still looking good to me. This pullback has not gotten me bearish on all my bullish outlooks on these high time frames at all. You know? It has not. It has not. Not even close. We haven't seen change of market structure. We haven't seen bearish signs. I mean, everything's still really bottomed out here. We're still trading in the range. We have a proper breakout of resistance. We're looking for a proper back test of value area low, golden pocket, trend line. You know, this is my next plan for Cardano right now. If we get more of a dump. Miss y'all on Around the Blockchain when Ben was in charge. Man, I'll tell you. Yeah, I mean, I miss those days too, and I'll be honest, I like Ben Armstrong a lot. He's obviously got issues, man, but deep down, there's a good guy in there. But he needs to repent and turn to the Lord. I know he's had a history with the Lord, but that's the only hope for him right now. I pray for him. I really do. I'm not even kidding. He helped so many people, Ben. He helped me out a lot. When I was a baby channel, he had me on his channel. He pumped my subscriber. He gave me like 35,000 subs in 12 hours. Man. He pumped my... he told everyone to buy my course. He made me like 50 grand in like 8 hours. On course sales. Isn't that crazy? Just because I was on his channel and he said, Jason Casper is an expert. And I'm like, man, Ben, you know, you don't have to go that crazy. But hey, you know, he helped me out a lot. Let's just be honest. Greek is good for your mind. Yeah, look, when you learn Greek, you realize how much of our modern vernacular comes from Greek. You know, like archaeology. The study of old things, like the Greek word arche, or I guess modern Greeks say like arche, the beginning, ancient times, or even like nocturnal, from the word noctos, or whatever, in Greek. You know, you've got there's a lot of words like that I just can't think of right now. Like kleptos. Kleptos means thief, like a kleptomaniac. You know? And like chronos means time, like chronology. You got chronos, chronology, means time. Stuff like that. Can we look at Pepe? Can we look at PP coin? Yeah, like archaeology. Ben is a good man. Everyone just hates him at the moment. Yeah. Look, he's an easy person to hate on because he's in the public spotlight. You know? But it's a very, very sad situation. When I first started happening, I personally believed at first it was fake, just like a publicity scheme. And I said, I thought to myself, and I said to my wife, he's either really, really smart, or he's really, really stupid, and has lost his marbles. Turns out, he had lost his marbles. And that's too bad. That's too bad. But look, it's never too late for us. And if not for the grace of God, you know, all of us would be in a very bad place, right? He does have a sweet mugshot. Looks like looks pretty like a front man of like a metal band or something. You know? The front man of a metal band or something like that. Let's see, Bitcoin rejecting from that trend line, guys. It's not looking the best for the old Bitcoin here. Looks like we're going to go for the lows again. If we take a look at the low time frames on Bitcoin, let's take a look at the order flow too here. If we go for that low again, I might actually pop into a long. And if I do, I'm going to let the Casper crew know. All right, if I take a long, I'm going to let the Casper crew know. Jason is that word. Cool, man. In Greek, that's what's up, man. You're going to Greece this week? That's cool. Cool cheese music? Thank you, Copper. I like the cheese music too. I would freestyle over it, but ever since I updated my streaming software, I'm off by like 0.25 seconds. Sounds really bad. So here we go. We've got this little range here. Coming down to the Val. Yeah, look at the money flow here on the 6 minute. Let's check out our 12 minute here. 12 minute looks nice. The money flow looks nice. You know, New York's already open. We were going to look at order flow, right? Okay, we're losing the VWAP. We got some longs opening here on VWAP, trying long VWAP, underwater immediately. Let's squeeze out those longs a little bit here. Squeeze out them longs a little bit here. Let's go down to 112K. Yeah, that's the next big place. Shout out to my man CBK Wahoo. Have a great rest of your day. Live dumpage. Look, this is a little bit of support. If we don't hold this, we're gonna go for the low again. All right. If we don't hold this, we're going for that low again. Let's see if we hold this. Keep holding. What? Oh man, shout out to my man Cy Beats. That's a bit. Okay, we're getting that bounce, man. Let's see. Let's see. We need the pump song. Yeah, I mean, yesterday we did do the pump song. And it works pretty well. All right, we're dumping, baby. Let's see what happens here. We've got the long open. I actually do also have a short open. Maybe we should show the short for better YouTube views. See if I can log in. Let me see here. This is a short I took a long time ago, and I never took any profit on it, just in case. You guys know how I trade. I'm a just in case shorter. Oh my goodness. We are dumping. Let's see here. Let's see here. It's so crazy when you look at the daily time frame. You can tell we're really not even. Here we go. There we go. We got our short open, baby. Let's see. It's long versus short. Let's see who will win out. Beat me up, bought 14K. That's not bad. 14K is not a bad place. Man, we are, though. We're going for that low, it looks like. Let's see. Looks like we're going for that low. It could either be a higher low here, or we're going to go for the low. Eric Crown gave the CME gap. This is real make it or break it right here, guys. If we don't reclaim that 786, we're going to go for the low. This would be a nice 1, 2, 3 right here. Let's check out order flow. Wow, we got some shorts coming into the bottom too, right into the 786. That's silly. Got a little bullish CBD. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Beanstalk U. How about a different metal song? I don't know. Hang on, guys. I gotta take off this weighted vest. Been walking for like an hour and a half with 40 pounds on me. There we go. Shout out to FitGenius618. What's the ideal lot size for $100 on Sol? look, you got to risk 1%, and if you're trading on exchanges like we trade on, I don't think the lot size, you're not going by lot size, you're going by position size in dollars or in Solana. So it's not like Forex in that sense. Man, the fact that we're not necessarily going for that low right now gets me a little cautious. Like, seriously, what the heck? Man, I don't like front running a level like that, but maybe we just make a higher low. Maybe we make a higher low. Maybe this is a higher low. Down gust starting with some downside. Yeah, but it ends, down gust ends in up gust, you know? What do I mean when I say only risk 1%? Go check out the free course. Go check the free course, my man. All right. Maybe we make a higher low. People are probably long at this right now. Yeah. We've got high volume down here. We're above the POC. Something big has to happen to justify rate cuts. Advice on how to build discipline? Yeah, check out the free course. Check out the free course. All right, the free course has a whole session on discipline and psychology. All right, go check it out. Yeah, go to youtube.com/Jason Casperoni. Actually, just Jason Casper, not the whole Casperoni deal. Guys, make sure to smash up the likes. We got over 1,000 people. We got 400 likes. We're watching this Bitcoin move here. This is a crazy good beat, says Dennis. I like the beat. What is the guy saying in the song? I have no idea, actually. DACTube. I have no idea. This is just some royalty-free stuff I found because I was tired of getting hit with the copyright. You know? What's my opinion on a swing long for ETH at 3184? Man, this is crucial. 3184. I'm not sure, man. What level do you have there? Just like a fake out of the low? A back test of this 4-hour level? Yeah, I guess it's a golden pocket. I'm not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. But if you have a plan and a reason, don't let me dissuade you. Seriously, don't let me dissuade you. All right. Are we cooked, Sneaky Ollie? Nah, man, we're not cooked. We're not cooked, right? We're still in bullish market structure overall and all that stuff. All right. Still in bullish structure and all that stuff. Alright. Looks like we might hold some support here, to be honest. Around this zone here. 114 is a pretty key zone. So, looks like we're going to get a little bit of support here. Yeah, 3300 is a good spot on ETH, for sure. Yeah, 3333, definitely, Brad. I agree. I agree. All right, y'all. I am going to head out. It's 10 o'clock. May the Lord bless you all in Jesus' name. May He draw us all closer to Himself. And I do hope everyone has a great weekend. God bless you guys. I'll see you next week. Peace.